Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Estate with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and Master Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Wehner, the second team leader here. Joining me today is Russ Williams with Williams Mortgage. So we jump on here every Wednesday, give a rundown of what's gone on in the real estate market over the last 7 days, kind of keep you up to date of anything, any news that we've heard or anything we've seen out there showing houses and all that good stuff. So we like to start out with a quick tip. So our quick tip today is jumping on our Champions Real Estate Team website and checking out our home buyer guide and our home seller guide. So basically go to the championsrealestateteam.com, pretty simple there. Under the buying or selling section, depending on which category you're looking at, we have our home buyer guide and our home seller guide just kind of right at the top of the page here. Literally click it and it downloads for us. You don't got to sign up or any of that kind of fun stuff. Nice thing here about the Champions Real Estate Team, we're not going to hound you. You know, they talk about in our industry and probably most other sales industry, speed to lead. So if you get a lead on a website, you got to call them within 5 minutes because they're going to jump off and all that fun stuff. We want to be a resource of information for you that you don't feel pressured or anything like that. Our goal is to educate you through the entire process. You know, sometimes that starts by doing your own research, which a lot of home buyers and sellers, they start 6 months to a year before they even contact an agent. And we love for you to check out our website, jump on, grab that buyer guide. And when the time's ready for you to reach out, we love to sit down and go to get a game plan, scouting report of what's going on the buying side, what's going on the selling side. And obviously, if you're a frequent watcher of our videos, you know that we kind of keep a good tab on what's going on in the market here. So check out that. Got important steps, just kind of things of that sort. So obviously, you can check out all the home searches, and obviously on the selling side, basically we have our home seller guide basically right there for you too. So good resources for you. A couple other things I'll reach out to. So our videos, so if you miss any videos, you can click here on our videos or even our vendor list. So these are just trusted, vendors that we use that, have done a good job with us, whether it's lawn care, flooring, painters, general contractors, got your utility companies and stuff, just be a resource for you. Eye doctors, auto repair. So I mean, sometimes people are moving into town and they don't have those connections. So that's what we want to be helpful with. And if you have your own small business or anything that we'd love to team up with you and add you to our trusted referral list, reach out to me here at 672-7670, and we're happy to help you. So, but yeah, check out that. And our championsrealestateteam.com, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But let's jump into what's going on in the market in the last 7 days here. So obviously temperature's gotten a little crazy here the last couple of days here, so that'll probably be reflective of our numbers there. Our new listings, number of new listings is 428. Last week was about 600, so we're kind of coming back to more of those normal influx of numbers coming in. New contracts 369. We were about like 310, so we're up 50. So we're seeing more buyers go out in the market. Obviously, there's more houses out there. Sold homes. So that's indicative of what the market was doing. The contracts written about 30, 45 days ago. So it's pretty par for the course for this time of year. So, we're seeing a pretty good, steady, healthy market here. We're seeing more inventory come in the marketplace, which is good. I got a handful of buyers that I'm working with presently, and it's nice seeing some new listings coming out and you're actually getting a chance to go look at those houses where there's not 15 people in there. And it's a great time to go look at houses. So, if you don't have to sell your house to buy a house, get out there and let's look. And then that way you can find the house that was right for you. 30,000 foot view here. So we got just under 3,100 homes in the Omaha Lincoln area, Douglas, Sarpy County, just 1841, 1822 on the existing homes. So that's down from about 1,000 that we had probably a couple months ago. So that number, the existing inventories, getting snatched up over the last couple weeks, which I think people after the holidays, some of those houses have been on the market for a little while. Maybe the seller's giving a little bit of a discount or closing costs or anything like that. And those houses are coming right off the market for those buyers that are just jumping in there too. So what I've also seen too is some of the houses that were listed, last fall, they got taken off the market over the winter and now coming back on the market. So, looking at those houses that come back and looking at the prices and all that good stuff, and we can coach you how to do that kind of thing from a buyer's perspective there. So new construction listings, that's the number that's kind of keeping our numbers up there a little bit. So you're seeing some of those builders that started the builds, broke ground, in the fall in that November timeframe, and now those are starting to hit the market. So you're seeing that influx there coming up. Months of inventory. So we're seeing more of a neutral market. So basically that 4.1 month supply of inventory basically means that we didn't have any more houses come on the market. All the houses will be gone in 4 months, basically. 0 to 3 months is deemed a seller's market. 3 to 6 is more of a neutral, and then 6+ is kind of that buyer's market. But obviously, when you work with us, we're going to dive right into whatever sector you're looking, whatever price point, whatever area, and we'll go more in depth on what is the inventory in that area. Maybe it is still a seller's market in certain buy points. Maybe it's a buyer's market. And so what does that make? How does that affect you on both sides of the coin from a seller and a buyer's perspective? And we'll go over that. So our average sold price dropped a little bit. Was it 340? Dropped down to 332, which is, because we're just looking at January to January numbers. So we don't have the full year average that we were working with basically in December there. So that's about up 1%, from this time last January. So market's a little bit, flat, and I think that's indicative of what the interest rates have done, the affordability of houses and the number of buyers in the buyer pool and things of that sort. So, but that's kind of a good rundown, I think, over the last week, what we've seen. But I guess if we're looking to buy a house, we got to work with Russ on the securing the financing. So, but how are we seeing? What are you seeing in your industry here, Russ?
Hey, Mark, we've certainly seen an uptick in activity after Monday. I think a lot of folks were nervously sitting on their hands, waiting until after the inauguration to make sure everything went smooth. Now we wait to see what direction the new administration is going to go. I will tell you, of course, that interest rates, whether they move up or down, is going to be heavily contingent upon both inflation and what happens in the jobs market. Having said that, though, we are still seeing some great incentives out there for first-time homebuyers. With the changes in the maximum loan amount, you can, believe it or not, with a conventional loan, with as little as 3% down payment, finance up to about $845,000 with 3% down, give or take, which is nice for folks that are wanting to buy at those higher price points. And we're also seeing that there's some subsidy money out there to subsidize some of the lower end folks that maybe have been struggling to get into a home with payments. There is some money out there, and we'll see more of that pop up as we move into the spring months. Typically, it's sometime in the mid to late first quarter that we see some subsidy money come up that is available at some of the local smaller banks that can be used to buy down the interest rate, help cover closing costs, or even cover paying off some expenses in some cases. So having said that, though, we're seeing that the mortgage market is kind of moving sideways as far as rates go, and we don't expect we're going to see a lot of movement up or down unless we have a real surprise. That surprise could be geopolitical in nature, could be that we see energy prices affected based upon whether it be tariffs or changes in energy policy. Those things can all have a ripple effect that drive mortgage rates. Having said that, though, as you can imagine, we've talked about this every week. If we see interest rates drop, there's a tremendous amount of demand sitting on the sidelines that will likely enter the marketplace. And when we have more demand with supply remaining equal, as Mark just showed you, that typically has a tendency to start to push prices of homes higher. So in the event that you're holding off waiting for lower interest rates, even if they do come, you may end up paying more for the home and ultimately end up with the same overall payment, yet owe more on the property. So I would tell you, I would highly and strongly encourage you to get a hold of Mark and his team, put a plan together, and be prepared for any eventuality.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is the time of year I've met with a couple other clients now that we're thinking about buying later in the year, maybe this spring, summer time frame. Now's the time to get with one of us. One, to get with us, from a real estate perspective, to get a game plan, like we say, a lot of we preach that all the time. So you have a plan in place when that right house comes up, and then most importantly, get in touch with Russ or a lender that you're working with to get a game plan there, because maybe you got credit that you didn't know about, or debt that you could pay down a little bit over the next month or two to help that get that better interest rate and those type of things. So it's best to get all your ducks in a row as best as you can when we're ready, when you get the green light to go out and look at houses and and have the fun part about that side of it. So the other thing too is, from the selling side, I'm setting up staging appointments now for some of my clients right now to get the stagers there, in the next week or so, and then basically getting their house ready for the spring. So I feel it's less stress on my clients to get that stager and get that process working, sooner the better, so that you know what you need to do to get that house ready. And and it's not, you don't have 2 weeks to get the house ready on the market. You've got a couple months, and that just simplifies it, makes it easier for you. And we can time it on the market. When's the best time to go on the market? When we're seeing the most buyer activity, from a seller's perspective, trying to maximize your equity, getting the highest price for your house. So that's kind of a lot of the things we preach here and we coach here. But yeah, happy to help. Give us a holler. We got our contact information right here below you. Jump on our Champions Real Estate Team website. Got a lot of information there. And yeah, we'll see everybody next week. And take care.